Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Corey Renner, and this is Speed Freaks. I want to give a quick shout out to all you people at the gym that try to better yourself and exercise and live a healthy lifestyle. Now, everybody appreciates somebody that's in the gym, trying to train, trying to better themselves. It's got a little to the point, though, you've got a few too many people kind of hang out and socialize. So, shout out to everybody that's shows respect and courtesy and fellow gym members that are courteous and polite. So when somebody asks you to work in or they're on a machine and they're just watching YouTube videos, which, hey, I get it. We all have YouTube video channels, and it is what it is. But just try to be polite and courteous. I try not to be rude, but some people I think really should be just punched in the head. They have it coming, right? So it's all good. Anyway, so just left the gym, had a pretty good workout. There's some few people socializing, standing around, watching TV as they really should be working out. But it is what it is. Just try to be courteous and remember there's quite a few people out there trying to do the same thing you are. And we all appreciate people watching, and some of us like to train hard. There's a good number of people come in here every day and bust their ass, trying to get where they want to be. I remember the day back when I was a personal trainer. People would like to help each other. I'd walked up to people and say, hey, if you do this a little different, if you correct this, or hey, say, try this different exercise, people would really appreciate it. Anymore, I don't know if it's because of YouTube or what, or everybody just knows everything. You go up and try to help somebody out, especially the people that clearly have no idea. They usually get pissy and rude. And I don't get that. I understand. If somebody's offering you help, don't get mad or upset if you're a seasoned bodybuilder and somebody's just giving you advice that obviously isn't very good. Try to be polite, take it for what it's worth. I have people come up to me, ask me some strange questions and stuff they probably shouldn't. They always think there's an easy way out. So they'll come up and say, hey, is there something, what can I take, what can I do? And I'm like, you can't sit on the couch 10 hours a day, eat crappy, and then think you're going to exercise and get somewhere. It just isn't going to happen. Try to balance out, eat healthy, don't drink sugary drinks. God, don't drink soda of any sort. Obviously, smoking and chewing's bad. Limit your alcohol consumption. But sorry, that was my little tangent for the day. I just left the gym, about to do some car spotting, and I left there thinking, I remember the day when you'd go in there and it was fun, and all these people would work out together and help each other along. And now some people are kind of social, but it's not so much what it used to be. So a quick shout out to everybody that goes in there, busts their butt, actually trains, and shows courtesy to the other people that are in there to be serious about it. So anyway, I'll get back to the blog, and thank you for that little tangent. Anyway, moving on. Pretty warm day today, but I did figure out, took a little bit of doing and some finagling, but I figured out my Acura NSX, which for those of you who watch the channel probably know, I have a 2017 Acura NSX. It's all-wheel drive. It's a hybrid. The downside about supercars is that they're super fun to drive, but it's designed for, and I'm not knocking people's driving ability, but it's designed for people who really can't drive. But if you have enough money, $180,000, $200,000, $300,000, you can buy one of these supercars. So I'm not the best driver. I'm not a race car driver, but I've owned many, many cars in my life, and done some street racing, some drifting, had some fun doing some donuts and some burnouts. By no means like Damon Fryer. Shout out to him. That dude's awesome. I love watching his videos, and that man has mastered the art of doing donuts in a Lamborghini. Anyway, so this all-wheel drive. So I've tried many attempts. For those of you who own one of these cars, my first attempt at drifting it, oh my God, I laughed so hard. Fortunately, I didn't wreck the car, which would have been easily possible, but there's so many safety features on this car that it basically just won't let you, which, as anybody knows, that takes a lot of the fun out of it. I mean, I appreciate the safety issues, or I should say the safety features that keep you from having issues, if you lose control. I get that. But when I turn them off, I want them off. I don't want this shit where I go to drift around the corner and I hammer it, downshift it, and it starts to break loose and then shuts the car for a split second. So it kills the power, comes back on in a second, you just kind of stop in the middle of the intersection and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Anyway, so you really have to push this car. You have to put it in track mode. For those of you who don't know much about the car, it has an all-electric mode. It's got a sport mode, sport plus, and then a track mode. Everything except for track mode basically is all-wheel drive. From my understanding, if you have it in sport plus, the electric motors, the front motors, cut out about 80 miles an hour, keep from overspinning and whatnot. So it launches extremely hard. My next car of choice is going to be a McLaren 570S. This thing will actually keep up with it to 0 to 60, about 80 they even out. From 80 on, you watch the McLaren drive away. These motors kick out, and then it has a big power disadvantage, and McLarens are just badass. There's no two things about it. They're just badass. Even a 570, the little baby McLaren, super sweet car. Can't wait to get my hands on one. Still a work in progress, but we'll get there. Car is super fast. I've raced several things in different cars in my Acura, and kill them off the line. I get run down by Hellcats. You hit about 80 to 100 miles an hour, and they have so much more horsepower that they finally catch you, and then they're going to pass you. But it really irritates them when they have all that power, and Hemi motors sound badass. I'm not a fan of Dodge products, but you got to give a shout out to that Hemi motor. It sounds awesome. It makes awesome power. Cars, basically, it's a smoke show, though. I mean, spinning isn't winning, so you take it for what it's worth. They'll run you down, but most cars, you do a quick race in the streets or something. You even might catch an 8th mile street racing. You're not going to catch this Acura. I mean, it's not a muscle car. Doesn't sound badass. It isn't going to rattle your windows, but it's going to really piss you off when you pull up next to it and you think you're just going to smoke and drive away. Now, if you have a high horsepower car, you'll catch it, sure. But by the time you've got enough speed, I'd already let off, because I'm not going to shoot 100 miles an hour down a city street unless we're out on a highway or something, in which case I'm all for getting a good run in. I don't even mind if you pass me. It's the fun of racing, not so much winning. We're not racing for pink slips. But anyway, sorry I got distracted. So earlier today I was thinking, I'm like, there's got to be a way to get one of these cars to actually spin out, because there's so many safety features that in track mode, which the manual says it turns off, right? It doesn't turn it off. So it tells you it does. Turns off traction control, which is kind of odd because you can't actually spin the car out. So I'm not really sure how, when you turn traction control off, how it helps any. You put it in launch mode. I have all-season radials on here, so I didn't get the car with the high-performance summer tires. These tires, excuse me, do quite well throughout the season, but as everybody knows, they don't get all that good of a traction in racing conditions, track, street, whatever. So about 1 out of every 3 launches, it'll start to spin the tires. And in the Acura's designing, they had decided if it's going to spin the tires, instead of just regulating the power, what's it do? Drops it out of launch mode. You lose all your boost. So you have this boost, you go take off about 3,000 RPMs, it'll spin the tires real quick, and then you lose all power. And it just slowly winds up, like you just casually take it off. Very irritating, very frustrating too. So, like I said, I appreciate the safety features, but the off button should mean off, right? So anybody in Acura that happens to watch this, make a note. And I'm not just picking on Acura. Almost every car is like that. Very few cars can you actually turn it off and it will do the same thing. I have several sports cars. Sorry about that. Several sports cars, same way. So you got to kind of finagle them, and still you don't actually get to turn all the safety features off. It's a safe assumption people go out there and do stupid shit, and that's probably why they're needed. But I got this car to do several donuts. They'll be coming up in a later video. It was quite fun. It took a little bit of doing, and some you kind of have to work the car and push the car. Once you get it to do some donuts and kind of learn how you have to, I think it's limited by speed. So if you're saying doing 25, 30 miles an hour, and you think you're going to drift around a corner, yeah, you're not going to. But if you're at a dead stop, you can spin it in donuts. You can spin it in circles and do a few donuts several times. As soon as you get any speed, start to get going, try to spin the car around, yeah, that's when it decides it's going to take over on the safety features, and there goes your fun. But it is what it is. Like I said, still having some fun, still learning the car. Haven't had it all that long. Finally got some nice weather where I can get out there and actually push the car and see what we can do. And I've got quite a few videos coming up of for you guys who watch the channel, and I appreciate your support and everybody who subscribes. Thank you. So later on, bear with me. Channel's kind of new, so some of the video's not great, some of the sound isn't great, and camera's a little shaky. I broke one of my cameras the other day, and I'm still a little frustrated about that. But I hope you watch the content. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate your support.